don't get me wrong, this video is about my car. However, I feel it's a little bit better if we just start at the beginning rather than just starting here. So if we go all the way back to the early 60s when Chevy released the Chevy 2, which later became the Chevy Nova, which is what my car is. Oh yeah, a Chevy Nova.
Seems as though the simplest things become the most complicated.
Prior to mixing, preheat oven to 275 degrees and set timer for 20 minutes while adding liquid ingredients.
To whole S and attach wing nut Y to part A, remembering to keep part B and C together at all times so as not to mismatch parts D and E.
Exception, this one. Chevy 2 by Chevrolet. Simple, straightforward, and sure. Reliable, economical Chevrolet engines. Bolt-on fenders. Self-cleaning rocker panels. The whole car engineered clean, sweet, simple. To help uncomplicate your life beautifully and give you that sure feeling of Chevrolet. Chevy 2, the stylish economy car by Chevrolet.
In 1962, Claire McEachin and his team of workers at Chevy needed to come up with a car that could go against Ford's Falcon line of cars, something that was easy to work on and would be sellable to families across
the nation.
In just 18 months, the Chevy 2 was put on the showroom floors, and it was easy to work on, it was compact, and it was nice. You know, that's what people called it. Nice. It wasn't anything new, because that's not what Chevy wanted to make. They just wanted something nice. First generation of Chevy 2 from 1962 to 1965 came on the low end of the spectrum with a 153 inline 4-cylinder engine all the way to a 327 V8 small block, only available in 1965. In 1963, the Super Sports package was available for the Nova, offering different emblems, an instrument package, bucket seats with a floor shifter, along with wheel covers and side moldings that were not available on non-SS packaged Chevy 2s. I fucked up that first sentence. For only 2 years, 66 and 67, the second generation of Novas arrived. The edges of the car were sharpened, but very little actually changed. In fact, nothing else really changed. The Chevy 2 had its emblems changed to say Chevy 2 Nova, and continued to be offered with the SS package. While you could still get a 4-cylinder in these vehicles, why would you want to do that? The two more popular engines were the 283 V8 and the 327 V8, which made it very nice 350 horsepower. Woo. It seemed people were learning that taking powerful V8s and throwing them into smaller compact vehicles made for tiny on-the-road rockets while still being able to go get groceries when your family needed them. With the name change, the emblems changed. Instead of saying Chevy 2 SS, they now said Nova SS, and sadly, in 1967, despite all of these really cool changes and that 327 V8 that you could get, they saw a drop in purchases by a little more than a third compared to 1966. Funny enough, the 6-cylinder engine was the one that sold better compared to V8s. Chevy saw this and they decided that it was time to change the look of the Nova. Starting in 1968, the Chevy Nova 2 became the Chevy Nova. The whole design of the car was different, and many people compared it to the Chevelle at the time because the wheelbase lengths were only 1 inch apart from each other, the Nova being 111 inches with the Chevelle being 112, so it was barely considered a compact car. On the bright side, however, the new Nova was able to come packaged with power brakes and power steering, air conditioning, and a headrest. Great. The two popular engines were the 256-cylinder and then the 307 V8, which ended up replacing the 283 V8 from the prior year. In 1968, the SS package became more than a trim package though. If you bought an SS Nova, it came with a 350 V8 that made 295 horsepower, or the insane 396 big block that is around 350 to 375 horsepower depending on which one you got. Moving into 1969, nothing really changed except for the man named Don Yanko. This guy decided he wanted to take compact Novas and throw the big block 427 into them, giving them a whopping 425 horsepower, not to mention the cool ass stripe going down the side and wrapping around the back of the cars. It was really cool. Really cool, take my word for it. I wish I had that. Aside from the Yanko-built Novas, the SS package came with an extra 5 horsepower on the 350 V8s, making a total of 300, and into 1970, the Nova stayed the same. However, the SS 396 option would be killed off this year. Rip, not cheesy, dude. In 1971, the Rally Nova was introduced. It included black or white stripes that ran down the side of the car, and a sticker on the driver's side of the hood. The package also came with rally wheels, multi-leaf rear springs, and a colored driver's side mirror, which I guess was considered good enough to buy a whole new package for a car at the time. In 1972, the Nova had its trim change and the Rally package stayed the same. SS packages stayed the same. Everything stayed the same. It's almost like Chevy wanted to keep the car the same.
Pardon me, but you own a Chevy Nova, is that right? Should we change it for 1971? Many Chevy Nova owners have told us, don't change it. We like it just the way it is. Very dependable, not too big and not too small. So in the case of Nova, we changed our attitude about making yearly changes and kept it the way it was.
With all of this, Nova had seen the best sales in years. Go figure. In 1973, GM had to adjust their cars to meet with government-mandated laws. 5-mile-per-hour bumpers were put onto the front and back, the eyebrow moldings changed, and along with the grille being replaced with a cross-hatch design. The 1973 Nova came as a hatchback that allowed the rear seats to flip down into a sort of bed-esque design, or in the standard coupe or four-door. Four-doors don't look that cool, which is why I don't have one. I wish I had the hatchback so I could lay down in my car from time to time. The gas tank was expanded, now being able to hold 21 gallons compared to the what I think was 16. I can't really remember, I don't have that typed. Oops. By this point, the SS package was no longer about making more power, but instead changed the design of the car a bit. It included a black grille, SS badging, and rally wheels. Nothing really special. To even further the point, any Nova could be equipped with the SS package, and by this point the 307 and 350 V8 engines were common. Sadly, the 350 V8 in the Nova made around 145 to 185 horsepower, which is a very far cry from the glory days of the Chevy 2.
When you've worked long and hard for something, it's got to be something special. This one is.
My 1973 Nova SS is it's unique. Let's go with unique. I bought the car in Roanoke, Virginia about a year ago, and since then have been working on it endlessly. I've swapped the original 73 engine with an 86 or newest 350 small block Chevy, board 60 over, double hum heads, 4-bolt main, and has had a little bit of rocker work done to it. I've had the transmission rebuilt by a family friend, the car rebuilt by a different family friend, and the left front fender changed twice after it was crunched in a small collision accident. Along with the front bumper and grille changed from the original 73 to a 68 to 72 style. And while editing this video, I'm currently replacing the whole rear end suspension system. Leaf spring, shocks, mounts, frame connectors, all of that, and of course more, cause it never stops. While that doesn't sound like a lot, it is when you're doing most of the work on your own or with your disgruntled dad in your driveway or in the dirt of your yard. When I originally bought the car, I was handed no keys. The way to start it was by a piece of metal that was sticking out of the dash and was zip tied to the steering column. Putting a new switch in was out of the question since the housing was mangled, so I bought a Flamin' River universal column that turned out to not be so universal. I then bought another 73 Nova column, but couldn't get the key ignition out to swap it, especially after we tried to drill it out and that mangled the housing, just like the original column. Great. Finally, was able to get a working steering column from a 69 Camaro, and on an even better note, it was a non-column shifter column, but that was fine since I think in the first week of owning the car, my dad and I had installed a B&M Star shifter. I then drilled an 8-ball out, put a nut in it, epoxied it, and threw that on because I didn't like the T-handle that much. Suit me. There's glass backs and headers. The car is extremely loud to the point that it's hard to have a conversation inside or outside of it. I do plan on getting insulation and carpet inside of the car to help with heat getting inside, but also to hopefully dampen the sound a bit. I plan on getting the proper hood latch support bracket and a new hood so the hood closes farther down like a 72 does, along with replacing the driver's side fender and chrome piece again so it doesn't sit at such a wacky angle like it is now. Along with this, I want to at some point paint the car light blue metallic, however that's probably far down the line if I'm ever going to be able to afford it. This car has been the most challenging thing I've worked on in my entire life. Before this, I had no prior knowledge working in cars, or really any interest in cars for that matter. My whole life, my dad told me about his 1966 Nova, and how his biggest regret was not getting a free replacement front end after he let his buddy drive it, who then wrecked it, instead going for a Camaro that he put the Nova's engine into. Personally, I like the round body Novas more, so I ended up getting one of those instead of a 66, but my dad is still proud of me for getting a Nova, kind of. There's some amount of resentment. I would have liked a hatchback, but they were very hard to find, especially for what my price range was, which was basically pennies. The Nova, one-wheel appealer, or Rat Nova as my dad likes to call it, has been both a regret and a reward for the past year in my opinion. I've gone and worked on this thing in the night, in the rain, in the night while it's raining, and even one point in snow, and while it was snowing. Would I sell it? Yeah, probably. Everybody has a price. If I was to sell it though, I would be getting another Nova or a 69 Chevelle. I'd say I'm hooked at this point, definitely. As a final note, if anybody is watching this video and is thinking about giving up on something, whether it's a classroom assignment, a job, or maybe even making NCR Ranger Army for that matter, let me just say that it's okay. Everybody has a breaking point, and this car has caused me multiple times now to quit everything and just sleep for a day before going back to work on it. The only thing that kept me going is that when I start the car up and I hear it roar to life. That is one of the best noises I've ever heard, and knowing that it's mine and that I did that, with help, of course, and I'm grateful for all the help from all of the people that have helped me with it. It's the thing that keeps me going. So if you really can't continue what you're doing, step away from it for a day, come back to it, see if you really want to give up. If you do, then go for it. I'm not going to judge you, and anybody who does, their opinion doesn't matter. They're not doing what you're doing. But if you want to continue working on it, I bet when you finish it, you will be relieved. So yeah, this is what's been eating my money up and my time. Sorry for no Fallout related videos or Hotline Miami for the past year. I'm sorry about that, guys. But who knows, maybe I'll be able to do another one of those soon, or maybe I'll do another video about cars, specifically this car. Subscribe if you're not, or don't, it's your choice. If you are subscribed and you hate that I just did a car video on a cosplay, I use very heavy quotes on that channel, then you can subscribe. Like the video or dislike it, it's your choice, or do nothing. That's also your choice. The only thing I ask is that if you're going to comment, please comment something nice, because with everything that's going on in the world, we really need nice messages from anybody and everybody. Hope you all have a good day, week, month, year, lifetime, and let the good times roll.